Hey everyone, Mike Lawson here. I'm going to continue with John Maxwell's 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. In this video today, law number 5, the Law of E.F. Hutton. And the Law of E.F. Hutton says that when the real leader speaks, people listen. And the real leader holds power, not just a position. And as I was, putting together this quick training, I couldn't help but think to myself, when I first got involved in network marketing, there was two brothers that mentored me, and both they shared the same position, and the one brother kind of ruled the business because of the position that he was at. The other brother, whenever he spoke, there could be 5 people in a room, 10 people in a room, 100 people in a room. The entire room got quiet and hung on to every word that he said. You could literally hear a pin drop, whenever he spoke. And looking back, and I didn't know this at the time, but looking back now, he was the real leader. Why? Because when he spoke, people listened. Now, EF Hutton was a financial services company. Now, I'm going to date myself because I actually remember these commercials as a kid. And the commercials went something like this. There would be, they typically took place in a busy restaurant or out somewhere in public, but somewhere busy. And it would typically be 2 people talking about their financial matters, and the one person would say, hey, my broker recommended this, or my broker said that. And the second person would say, well, my broker is EF Hutton, and EF Hutton says, and the entire busy restaurant will get quiet and listen to what that person said because EF Hutton said this. Well, that's the law of EF Hutton. And it says that when the real leader speaks, people listen. So my question to you is, when you speak, are people listening? And I remember moving up through some of the ranks, in the company, and I'm thinking to myself, well, I'm a leader. People need to listen to me. And I would try to hold conference calls, and I say try, even though I hate the word try, but I would try to hold conference calls and accountability calls, leadership calls for my team. But when I would try to do that, not many people would get on. And you know why? It's because I wasn't the real leader. But when I would promote one of the brothers getting on, especially the one brother, the call would be jam-packed. A lot of times, there wasn't enough room on the conference call line to hold that many people. And it was because there was a real leader getting on the call. Now, it's easy to, knowing this law, it's really easy to find out who the real leader is. So next time you're in a meeting, here's what I want you to do. Just stay quiet and just pay attention to who's speaking. So, and watch, and you'll know instantly. You'll know within 5 minutes who the real leader is. When someone's speaking, who are the other people, they're gravitating to? They can't wait to hear that person speak, or they can't wait to hear what that person's saying. Who are they waiting to listen to? And you'll know who the real leader is. Now, for leaders that are watching this video now, again, you might not be the real leader in your organization, but if there's somebody else in your team that is the real leader and they're in, let's say, your downline, that's not a bad thing. That's actually a good thing because of the fact that you'll be able to get your team to do more by using and recognizing this and using that person as the leader. Hey, Pip from the UK, thanks for joining. Hey guys, if you're just logging in or just joining, do me a favor, let me know where you're logging in from. Happy Friday, everybody. Now, positional leaders, there's a difference between positional leaders and real leaders. See, positional leaders, they speak first, where real leaders, they wait to speak. They speak later. Now, positional leaders need influence of real leaders to get things done, where real leaders only need their own influence. Positional leaders influence only other positional leaders, where real leaders influence everyone in the room. Hey, Zach. I see somebody from Texas, FX Mafia. Thanks for joining in. Right? And Zach will agree with me on this. There's certain people in positions that, right? One of the brothers that I was mentioning a few minutes ago, because he was at this position, okay, he tried to control the organization because he was at this position. Now listen, people would listen to him, don't get me wrong. But a lot of people listened to him reluctantly. Where the other brother, because he was the real leader, he would say, I think we should do this, we should do that, and everyone would do it. Let me give you a better example. He's on stage training in front of 30,000 people a few times a year for this particular company, and when he speaks, you can literally hear a pin drop in that auditorium. And here's why. He's the real leader. And even in my traditional business, my second business that I bought, my one, as you guys know, was a complete failure, but the second business I bought was a cleaning company, and it was an existing company, and they cleaned churches and daycare centers. And when I took over this business, I purchased it from a guy named Rick, and Rick took me around to all the different churches to meet everybody and meet, different members of staff and things like that, just to get me acclimated with those people. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, I'm the owner, and we're going to do it this way, and I would try to speak a little, and none of those people would listen to me. And here's why. Rick was the real leader. Even months later, even years later, members of those congregations would still ask me, hey, where's Rick? Or I see that you're doing this. Well, Rick used to do it that way. And here's one thing that I'll share with you. I made some mistakes, and I lost business because I tried to do things my own way, where he was the real leader. He had a system. He had a rock-solid business that was in place. And when I tried to do my own things because I was the boss and people should listen to me, I wasn't the real leader. And there's still people, there's workers that I have in my traditional business where, guess what? Just because I'm the owner, I'm not the leader. The people that are out there cleaning and doing the work, they're the leaders. They're there every day. They're busting their butts, and they're the leaders. They're the face of the company. So my question to you is, when you speak to people, listen. And if they don't, that's okay. Because the more you work on these laws, these 21 irrefutable laws, and again, they're laws. I mean, if you follow the laws, they work. If you don't follow laws, okay, it's like gravity. It doesn't matter if you agree with it or not. You might not agree with the law of gravity. Well, go, stand on top of your roof, okay, and walk off your roof. Well, in about 2 seconds, you'll realize, okay, that there is a law of gravity, whether you agree with it or not. You will hit the ground. My point is, when you're speaking, are people listening? And if they're not, it's okay, because people didn't listen to me for a very long time. But here's what I'll share with you. You continue to work on yourself. Personal development. You get a coach. You follow these laws, and you will, continue to build yourself up as a leader. And I promise you, one day when you speak, people will listen. So that's all I have today, guys. I appreciate you tuning in and joining. Do me a favor. Make sure you go over and like my business page if you haven't done so. It's right underneath my profile picture. Just click on that. Make sure you like that, and you'll be updated with some other videos. And also turn on the notifications so you know next time I go live. Have a great day, everybody.